What does music have to do with stress? Maybe the parents in the room are thinking, I know the heavy metal my kid is listening to stresses me out. But just be glad we all have earbuds. Remember when you were a teen? Records, tapes, 8-tracks? Did your parents ever say, turn it down? Maybe the musicians in the room are thinking, I get really stressed before a performance. Maybe the movie fans in the room are thinking, yes, a soundtrack can completely change the mood of a scene. The anticipation of the villain's entry, stressful. We all face stress, whether it's exams, new school, moving, divorce, illness. Even hearing these words can raise your stress level. Let's try something. Repeat after me. Good. Let's try another one. Good. And for this next one, I want you to think of 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Good. We all face stress, especially kids. When I was little, I was diagnosed with familiar Mediterranean fever syndrome, or FMF. FMF is a rare genetic disorder. Less than 5,000 people in the world have it. However, it is more common in Sephardic Jewish heritage. Before I was diagnosed, nobody knew what was going on. Not my parents, not the doctors, no one. It meant I got fevers, a lot of fevers, for a very long time, and I was in the hospital. I became afraid of needles and nurses and doctors and anyone else who came into my hospital room that weren't my mom or my dad. But then, one day, after 4 days in the hospital and dozens of tests, a music therapist with a guitar came into my room. She played her instruments for me, and she even let me play her instruments. I was happy, and so were my parents for the first time in our many, many hospital stays. I don't know if that music therapist knew how big of an impact she had on everybody in that room, but her kindness inspired our family to start a nonprofit organization called Raising the Blues that helps kids with special needs and medical needs through interactive music. We get to help kids like Elizabeth. Elizabeth was born with a severe cleft plate, and so severe that she could not even speak. After 8 surgeries, she discovered that she loved to sing. Once her teacher heard her singing, she immediately contacted us, and we knew what we had to do. We got her singing lessons and voice lessons. We also get to help kids like Catherine. In this picture, Catherine is 13 years old. She was diagnosed with leukemia, and she loves to play bass. After we found this out, we also found out she didn't have a bass, so we got one for her. And after 1 year, she was playing in front of 17,000 people at the North Atlantic Blues Festival. Did you know that music can actually change brain activity? In this diagram by Barunat and colleagues, shows the areas of the brain affected by rhythm processing. The colors represent the different areas of the brain affected. In a study by Clausen, it shows that music can actually reduce pain and anxiety in children undergoing medical procedures. And it also showed that music actually reduced the need for medicine. Music is so important that it can help with almost anything. It can help with autism spectrum disorders, Holocaust survivors, and even Alzheimer's patients. NASA, on their first attempt to try to communicate with extraterrestrial beings, sent a record into space holding many different songs from many different cultures. So clearly NASA thinks Martians have good rhythm. So what does music have to do with stress? Have you ever wondered why your teenager's constantly listening to music? Do you remember middle school, high school? It was stressful, and it's even more stressful today. So in a culture where stress is part of our lives, perhaps we are not using music to its full potential. For me, I like to volunteer with Raising the Blues. but the possibilities are truly endless. You can start small, like getting your local band or choir to volunteer at a local community event, or volunteering in a music class to help younger children. Once you think you've got the hang of that, do more. Take 1 hour out of your week to do a charitable project. Do one kind act a day. Now, this may not seem like a lot, but imagine the impact. On Bainbridge Island alone, there are over 23,000 people. One kind act a day would amount to over 8 million kind acts per year. Everybody can make a flap in the butterfly wings. You never know how far it will go. Okay, now I'm going to get your musical brains engaged. I'm going to split the room in half, and I want the right side of the room to repeat after me. Good. Now I want the left side of the room. This one's a little bit more difficult, and you can think of 1, 2, buckle my shoe to help you. Good. Now I'm going to attempt to put it together. I want this side of the room to repeat after me and do it at the same time as me. Keep going. Okay, now I want the left side of the room. Good. So remember, when your teenager wants to listen to music, let them, because it's helpful. My name is Natan. It means he gave. I hope I gave to you today. Thank you.